the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 132 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. And would you believe it? It's December already.
Oh,
December.
shit.
Oh, before Christmas, for December, my dad bought me a box of beers, 24 beers, one a day as an advent calendar. And I had my first one today. It was very nice.
Do you
nice.
have that at like 9 a.m?
I might do. I might mix it up. I had one after work today, but tomorrow I might try one at 8. It's
Okay.
nearly Christmas, right? I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
That's John, by the way, the alcoholic of the podcast. Hi, John.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good. Sam, I wanted to ask, it's just got to December. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
What's been your highlight of the year? Can you think of anything good that's happened or that you've done?
Anything
It's a hard
good,
question, right?
Anything good that has happened? I'd have to say I did a little bit of charity work this year.
Oh, God, here we go. We haven't heard the end of this in the group chat. Oh, it's all over the place. Go on then. What did you do?
There was a moustache grown.
What a challenge.
Yeah, it was hard. I don't be jealous, Adam.
Sam, you got to be a man about your charity. And growing a mustache is not being a man about your charity.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's better than, the people that sort of give up chocolate for a month. I'm like, fuck you giving up chocolate for a month. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Growing a
like,
mustache, that's quite a big commitment.
try-
Isn't chocolate for a month Lent? It's not so much charity.
It's religion, for God's sake. It's so important.
Yeah, charity stuff was done. Lots of money was raised by lots of generous people who are very kind. So, yeah.
We should have given the link out on here. We should have at least tweeted it. Is it an easy link?
I think it's done now. I think it's closed.
Okay. Well, you're too late, listeners. Fucking penny pinchers. Can't believe you didn't get involved. Can't believe you didn't realise this was happening and just send Sam money. Brett, what's been your highlight of the year?
Oh, my days. That's like, asking someone with the worst memory to remember something in a year when we've been...
Was it all that preparation you did for the upcoming Christmas quiz?
Yes, totally on top of the quiz, guys.
Yeah, sure. The clock's ticking now. It's December.
I would say my highlight was probably that first month of lockdown where I basically just did Sweet FA.
Oh, son of a bitch.
John, obviously, I should go further than just referring to you as an alcoholic. Have you got any highlights? Did you do anything spectacular? Did you break lockdown? Did you go on holiday? Did you go to Dubai for a week, sun yourself?
Nope. My highlight of the year so far, Adam, has been starting the Undertaking on this podcast.
The correct answer. And probably what I'd say. I haven't asked this question because I've got an amazing answer lined up. I don't have an answer, really. I just thought it's mad that it's December already. The year has been a very, very odd one, but you don't need us to tell you that. So let's just get on.
Did anyone else believe that Adam was asking that just so he could then give us a
Humble
story
brag.
about what his moment of the year was, or his highlight of the year was?
I think it's his new Steven Spielberg look.
I am wearing a hat. I had a shower shortly before this and my hair looked awful. So
It's the media professional look.
Okay. God, ripping into it. I'm
like
not used
a
to this.
runner,
I'm not used to this.
Flat white for me, please, Adam.
Back on track. Concentrate. I used to be a runner. I used to do that. That's bringing back great memories. Anyway, last week we did a podcast and I didn't wear a hat. So that was nice. It was WWE Survivor Series 2020, which of course had The Undertaker's farewell. And it was very odd writing my notes for this episode. I had The Undertaker's final farewell on one page, and then on the next page, we're going back right towards the start of his career again. Because this podcast is The Undertaking Volume 6. And of course, as is customary when we come to the Undertaking episodes, I'm going to sit back, relax, not going to do any hosting, and I'm going to hand the baton over to Sam. What are we doing?
Thank you, Adam. I have received the ceremonial hardest part of the ring Undertaking baton. And I hear you asking as you pass me this baton, what is
that
the
green smoke coming out of the baton? Sorry. That will only work for people who watch some of these matches. Carry on.
What is the Undertaking? I hear you screaming as you pass me this baton and tell me to run as fast as I can with it.
What is the Undertaking?
Thank you. Foley work right there. True media professional.
Terrifying. Away from the mic.
The Undertaking is a retrospective review of the pay-per-view events that The Undertaker has participated in. It follows his entire career from 1990 to 2020 and provides a snapshot of the wrestling landscape at the time.
There'll be some Saudi bonus eps.
There may
There'll
be some Saudi episodes.
Bonus.
I mean, we'll see. Previously on The Undertaking, we reviewed matches 11 and 12 of The Undertaker's career, feuding with El Gigante himself, Giant Gonzalez. Lots of silence.
Great man.
Rest in peace.
We enjoyed that a lot more than I think anybody at the time did enjoy that.
I think we are the highest rated wrestling podcast on the planet who gives Giant Gonzalez high stars in his matches. And you can take that one to the bank.
Yeah.
Underrated Mac technician.
So if you'd like to listen back to Volume 5 and hear John wax lyrical over the big man himself, you can find that in episode 127.
His shoulders needed waxing.
Did.
Who doesn't say, hey?
But today we move on to matches 12 and 13 of the Deadman's career, starting at Survivor Series 1993.
Mr. Fuji managing Yokozuna, managing Crush as well. And oh my. The Boston Garden lights go out. Bobby Heenan, what are you doing? Get up from there. Get up. Bobby Heenan just up underneath the counter. Are you wearing slim fins? Would you get up from there? Get back up. Take a look at this.
Match 11, Survivor Series 1993, the Foreign Fanatics versus the All-Americans at the Boston Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. So, the plan for Survivor Series was simple enough. The All-Americans, Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers, and Tatanka were taking on the dastardly Foreign Fanatics on Thanksgiving Eve. So, it doesn't get much more American than that.
No.
Except
I'll give you that.
Nothing. Well, it wasn't going to plan. Tatanka, on the back of a 2-year winning streak. 2-year Tatanka.
Yeah, he was unbeaten for ages.
Yeah, a 2-year winning streak. Again, Tatanka.
It's that a bit like I saw Spike Trivet put a tweet out the other day, which was like, 430 days, and I think it was referring to his Riptide, being Riptide champ. It's like, yeah, can you count? Count these last?
As a heel, you can definitely count them, right?
Yeah. Okay, fine.
But yes, on the back of a 2-year winning streak, he was taken out by a heinous attack by the Foreign Fanatics, and the All-Americans needed to announce a new 4th member for their team. Luckily, help was on the way in the form of the Deadman himself and noted Americaphile, Ever the Patriot himself. He threw his hat into the ring. So you guys have seen this clip.
We have to put this out on our Twitter because it's hilarious.
The Undertaker on Superstars announcing that he's going to be the 4th member of the All-Americans, revealing the inner lining of Undertaker's coat. For anyone who is interested, contains Betsy Ross, is it?
What?
It's the old American flag.
Yeah, it was definitely
Oh, was it? I didn't notice that.
I had the
I was like,
circle
who's Betsy
stars.
Ross?
Yeah, I don't know who Betty Ross is.
I thought the flag was called the Betsy Ross, but now I might have just been making things up.
No, the Betsy Ross flag is an early design of the flag of the United States, named for early American upholsterer and flag maker Betsy Ross. And that's from Wikipedia, where I get everything from. So that is right. Well done, Sam.
Thank you. And so that's a little bit of trivia for you there. If you ever wondered what the inside of the Undertaker's coat is like, it's the inner lining of the old American flag.
I mean, it doesn't really fit with his character, does it? That little reveal and him sort of saying, "Oh, these guys are proper patriots and they love America, and so I'm going to stand by their side." It's very
very strange. So, the Undertaker joins the All-Americans, Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers,
right,
and they are taking on the Foreign Fanatics. Those being Crush, Quebecer Jacques, Yokozuna, and fake Brock Lesnar, Ludwig Borger.
Now, I've got a criticism here. I'm not having it. Crush is not a foreign fanatic.
Yeah, what was he billed as? Was
He's
he billed
Hawaiian,
from, yeah.
isn't he? So
I thought he was billed from Hawaii, certainly.
that's an American state, right?
Maybe he turned his back on the great nation of America and sided with...
Wasn't Obama was born in Hawaii, and I'm pretty sure Trump said there was something about his passport, and
No, he was trying to say he was Kenyan or something.
Yeah,
Trump was.
but that's
the
what I
thing
mean.
is that it's not about where you're from; it's about where you're
It's
built
not
from.
what I mean,
surely,
guys. It's not what I mean. Yes.
like Yoko was built from Japan, but was very much not Japanese.
No, but I still think Crush was billed from Hawaii.
Yeah, he was. They
was
said
he?
from Hawaii.
Yeah,
His
his whole
Crush.
gimmick was used to be like a bit of a surfer dude, right?
Oh,
They as he came to the ring, they were like from Hawaii, Crush, like he was from another.
It is across water. Maybe that counts.
Yeah. We should also say that Quebecer Jacques, for those that don't know, because I wasn't familiar with that name, is the Mountie.
Mountie, yeah.
That's
Well,
how
yeah.
I know him.
that's kind of. I was a bit confused by that, and I didn't want to go against what Wikipedia was telling me. But
No, well, it did say Jacques. It came up on the graphic. It was like Jacques. I was like,
Yeah, it was
sure that's the
pre-Mountie
Mountie.
days.
it's
Yeah,
very
pre-Mountie.
satisfying to say that. Shock.
I think his music was.
It was the Mountie, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it. The All Americans versus the Foreign Fanatics. Luckily, this is the last time we'll ever see a evil foreigners stable in WWF.
I mean, we should bring up that sign that was in the crowd, which I tweeted if anybody wants to go and look at Hardest Part Pod. But there was a guy with a young son who was about 10, and the sign said, USA, love it or leave it, you foreign freaks.
I saw that.
Lovely.
It's like, wow, that feels...
Seems quite gentle by today's standards, though.
Yeah, you might see that at a rally these days.
And so, the last thing that's really important to point out here is Yokozuna, heavyweight champion at the time.
I used to hate Yoko,
Yeah, me
but
too.
nowadays, like going back and watch these matches, I think he's really good. Like for someone his size.
I think it's good facials.
I love John's like
No,
excitement.
come on,
for
guys,
stuff.
he's good. He's a good worker. Like,
Where would you
he's so
place
big.
him in comparison to Kamala and Giant Gonzalez, your two other
Yeah.
favourite wrestlers so far?
He's easily better than both of those guys.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, I can take that.
Being pinned
Shall we
here.
discuss the
Don't like
match?
it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a weird match, this, isn't it? Because, I mean, let's cut to the chase. It's exactly 20 minutes before the Taker enters the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a Survivor Series match, obviously, but it's 20 minutes of... I wasn't that interested. I wasn't really paying much attention, if I'm completely honest. It wasn't that great.
Like involve himself in any way at all either. He just
Not
like
at all.
literally he's on the spot. It's almost like he's Lana sat on the ring steps, not allowed to move.
It's just a bit weird he's even in that team.
Yeah,
It
it
seems
was-
so
he
out of place.
belonged on the other team, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because he's from Parts Unknown, and you could definitely
Is he
claim
from
that that's
Parts Unknown,
foreign.
or is he
I
from
think he's
Death
from
Valley?
Death
Valley.
Oh, God, sorry, guys. Oh, God.
But that's okay. If we're saying Hawaii is not part of the US, I'm sure we can make an
Death
argument for
Valley
the
can
Undertaker
be
being
in
from
hell.
wherever they want.
So underqualified to be on the Undertaking.
But the match starts. Rick Steiner, Yoko in the ring. Ludwig Borger is doing stuff as well.
Just a quick side
Doing
note:
stuff.
Ludwig Borgner is no joke. Like he was like heavyweight champion in Finland, one of the first
Yes.
UFC fighters.
He also had a swastika tattoo on his head, I think.
Yeah,
did he?
I did a
No
little
joke.
Google on him, and
No joke.
he was because I was checking he was actually
Yeah.
foreign,
Yeah,
and he was a politician.
Yeah,
and he
he's
was like a
MP.
leader of True Finns or something, which was
Oh,
basically a
sweet
right wing
Lord.
populist.
Sweet Lord.
was
I thought he was a
Finnish.
legit
Very-
cool bad guy, but
no.
no.
He
Oh,
was a
dear.
very, very right wing
Yeah.
person who very actually sadly did commit suicide with a gun. So
Oh, God.
Yeah.
John, why did you make this side note?
Well,
It
he
always
also
is
has
shit.
that awful botch where, like, Rick Steiner
Yeah.
early on touches the crossbody.
So bad, and Vince tries to sell it like it's
yeah,
like
I
look
mean,
at this move, and it just
there's only so
fails.
much time we're going to dedicate to talking about a Nazi in the ring. But yeah, not a great person. Definitely one of the bad guys in the Foreign Fanatics.
Yeah.
But the match itself was it was probably the most by the book Survivor Series match I think you can possibly imagine. It was kind of very much just, here are the American heroes fighting on the eve of Thanksgiving. Against this
I was
foreign
expecting
menace.
some crazy stuff with the Steiner brothers in it, but it never delivered.
Yeah, I mean, it did get a bit crazy because Randy Savage comes out, right, to try and start a fight with Crush for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
But he's held back by the smoking guns, which even like what?
Yeah, I mean,
Weird.
with this match and the next one we're going to talk about, you can start to see the trickles of the Attitude Era seeping into WWF programming at this time. Sort of, the matches are starting to become a little bit unhinged. And this is
A little bit overbooked, maybe. I mean, certainly for the next match, slightly.
Oh god, yeah, we're going to get to that. What I found funny with Macho Man coming down is that he was being restrained by the smoking guns, but also about 7 other men. But he was still making it down towards the ring. It's like, I'm sure 9 men can stop 1 man. I know it's Macho Man.
Crowd going wild as well, weren't they?
The thing is,
yeah, they were.
have you guys ever been in the situation when you're on a night out? I don't think you would have done in recent times because of, the world has changed. You're on a night out, one friend gets a little bit drunk and kind of wants to start a fight, and everyone's like, no, come on, let's not. It's very hard to stop that one person.
I don't know if I've ever been out and one of the people I'm with has wanted to start a fight.
No, me neither. I'm just talking anecdotally. But,
just trying to get some lad chat going.
Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm a lad.
The wrong group for that.
What I would say is it's very difficult to stop that one person. If they want to start a fight, they're going to start a fight. Hypothetically, objectively.
Why would Macho Man want to start a fight with Crush, though? I mean, talk about a demotion.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, my favourite thing about this match, I didn't mind that actually when Taker got involved, which we'll get to in a second, but one of my favourite things was Heenan. I think this was when Taker got in, and he knocked Yoko to the pit, to the mat. And Bobby Heenan says, if he gets up from this, I'm a weasel. Which was just great.
Nice.
I love Bobby Heenan.
The Undertaker portion of this match is incredible. Like, for as short a period as it is.
And now the tag will be made. Oh no! Getting so close. Tagging the Undertaker. Yes, the tag was made. Uh-oh. Here we go. They've been waiting for this. Undertaker with Yokozuna. Reversal coming off the rope and... Oh my God! Look at that! Look at him! The man is not human, McMahon!
He rocks up, hottest
It's about 3
tag you'll
minutes.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduces a new move to the repertoire.
What's that?
The running tornado DDT into the sit-up,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
which looks brutal.
Yeah, it looked all right, yeah.
It does a handful of sit-ups, dodging banzai drops here and there.
Yep.
I always feel like we need to label, because this is going to come up a lot. We need a different name for the Taker's sit-up, because you say sit-up and it's like, oh, he's doing some sit-ups, but it's the classic Taker.
His race
I know it's
from
a
the
sit-up,
dead.
but
yeah.
when you say sit-up to me, I picture somebody with their hands by their
No,
ears
for sure.
doing
Yeah,
sit-ups.
I'm with you. We'll
think of
workshop it.
Yeah.
But no, the Undertaker and Yoko duke it out, and both of them get disqualified.
Yokozuna rolling to the outside. The Undertaker coming out after him. Yokozuna now. And the Undertaker. Oh my goodness, into the step. Oh my God! And Yokozuna is terrified. Yokozuna has never experienced anything like this in his life. Yokozuna is terrified. Yokozuna cannot handle this man. He doesn't know what to do with him. I think Fuji's lost too. Yokozuna has been counted out. Or wait a minute. I guess both men have been counted out.
I think it was very brave of El Hebner to count them out without actually counting out loud.
It did seem as if he was trying not to, like he was doing it under his breath. He's like, 7, 8, 9, 10, ring the bell.
They're probably
I
quite
liked
scary guys, right? I'd probably do the same.
Yeah. I thought Taker did everything. I think we've seen this throughout all of these matches. No matter how short his appearances are, he just does everything perfectly. I thought that the reaction when he had his head hit to the steps and then he comes up and then he turns and does it to Yoko, it was great.
Yeah.
And then,
100%.
Counted out.
This match is very peak Undertaker, doing Undertaker stuff. Really in his element.
Yeah.
It's a weird match because like Taker doesn't come in until very late. Even Lex Luger doesn't come in until really late as well. It's weird.
Yeah.
Taker and Yoko get counted out, leaving Lex Luger and noted Nazi man Ludwig Borger to duke it out in the ring. Let's very quickly talk about Lex Luger.
Yeah, can we? I've got some good stuff about Lex Luger.
Please.
Ooh, go on then.
Well, this is quite an interesting time because it's post-Hulkster, right? He's left again.
Yeah.
And so they need someone to fill that big all-American shoes. And previously, I think when we'd seen Lex Luger, he was the narcissist.
God, yeah.
So they rebranded him as this American hero. And around this time, they really pushed him hard. Like he's traveling the country in the Lex Express, like this big bus that McMahon puts around, trying to build him up.
The pay-per-view starts, doesn't it, with him and his family doing a little Thanksgiving message, which was very cheesy.
Which is awful.
By the fire.
So he would go on to, from this, he'd go into Royal Rumble and him and Brett would joint win the Rumble for a title shot against Yoko. Lex would go on to lose that title shot. And that's kind of his WWE career in a nutshell. He never wins any belts. He goes on to being like a tag wrestler.
I hated Lex Luger back
Me
in
too.
the day, though. Like, I know they were pushing him, but he just never got over.
I hate looking at him. Like he's so grotesque to look at.
Yeah. Or hate his face.
Lex Luger situation, it seemed like a really forced kind of Vince McMahon move, and perhaps a very early example of what Vince would do quite a lot with a lot of wrestlers, where he would push them regardless of their popularity and try and push a narrative which just was not taking. In this case, kind of Lex Luger being a poor man's Hulk Hogan, it was never going to fly.
You can't be a good guy with a name like Lex Luger.
No, it's almost like it's too similar to a supervillain. Name.
It is.
Not even Santa Claus himself could get Lex Luger over.
That was weird.
So Lex got the winning pin, and out comes Santa Claus. And were any of you guys thinking, well, this is going to be another wrestler like a heel, he's going to take him out? But no, it was literally just a Santa Claus. And he went to each side of the ring and put his hands up with Lex and said, Merry Christmas. I always think it's a bit weird. Like it's literally, I mean, was this on Thanksgiving Eve?
Yeah.
So I thought Christmas was all about like the day after Thanksgiving. You have Black Friday now. God, that say that as if that's a proper tradition. It isn't, of course. But then it's Christmas. Why are they bringing out Santa Claus the day before? Because
this
Thanksgiving, bring out a turkey.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Where was the gobbledygook?
Exactly.
He was in the 24/7 championship.
Where was the gobbledygook? I want that on a t-shirt.
But the thing that really bugged me about this was that why would famous North Polar and foreigner Santa Claus be supporting the All-Americans? Not the foreign fanatics.
You're right. You're absolutely right there.
Because he's making money for Coca-Cola.
Right. We cracked the case of the Survivor Series 93 match, which is a fairly bog standard Survivor Series match with a few parts thrown around. Let's go to the ratings.
I forgot about this.
So I'm going to start, because I never get to start the ratings, and I'm going to say that the match itself for me was maybe a 1.5 out of 10. Out of 5.
1.5 for me too.
And for Undertaker's 3-minute cameo itself, I would give him a solid 1.5. A positive. No, actually, no.
That's a positive 1.5.
The thing is, it was 3 minutes
as opposed
worth.
to the really negative 1.5
That's a 3 out of 10.
seconds ago.
It was 3 out of 10.
Okay, no, that's fair. That 1.5 was maybe a bit harsh. He had a great 3 minutes, but it was 3 minutes. So
but it was the best 3 minutes of the match.
Fine, I'm going to up that to a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay. Quick 5 scores. Let's do it. 3 for the Taker and 1.5 for the match.
John,
I'm giving 1.5 for both.
Ooh, positive 1.5 there. Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard line, John. Now, guys, you guys have took the piss out of it too much. It's just
I know.
low scores from here on
We've
out.
broken him. Bizarro John has arrived.
What about you, Brett?
Steady the ship, please.
Yeah, I'm going to steady ship. 2 for the match, 3 for Taker. Come on. Like I was like Adam, bored through this match. Taker comes in. It was exciting.
This works out quite
was.
nicely because the match itself we give a 1.625 out of 5. Sounds about right for that Survivor Series, nothing special. Taker himself we give 2.5 out of 5, which was a good performance for Taker, albeit short.
Nice. Okay.
And so, before we move on, I think it's that time of the podcast for an Undertaker fact.
You want to hear an interesting
Undertaker fact.
The Undertaker has a fear of cucumbers.
Like a cat.
Yeah. So, supposedly, anyway.
No, I mean, some people will probably be aware of this or have heard the many tales or heard him talk about it or hear him, try and claim that he isn't. But back in the day, I think there were quite a few instances where it became apparent that the Undertaker was a little bit scared of the big, long, green vegetable. He used to travel with Paul Bearer everywhere to try and stay in character and protect kayfabe. And apparently he used to always make Bearer get out of the car to fill the car with petrol. One time, Bearer had to have a wee pretty badly, but Taker made him fill the fuel, which resulted in Paul wetting his pants. Undertaker found it hilarious and told everyone backstage, including Vince. To avenge this incident, Paul Bearer apparently stuffed cucumbers in the Undertaker's hat.
Oh, hat.
Without him knowing is the key here. And when Taker picked up his hat, he legitimately freaked out and almost puked, is the anecdote. In a 2013 interview, Paul Bearer is quoted as saying, "He cannot stand cucumbers. I saw the Undertaker throw up all over a Waffle House because there was a cucumber floating in his iced tea. It was something to do with when he was a kid. I guess his mother made him eat them when he didn't want them or something. He just hates cucumbers."
That
Wow.
is your best Undertaker fact yet.
There's more to it, because
Oh my
interestingly, the Undertaker spoke up recently on the Pardon My Take podcast, which he was on to promote The Last Ride. And he said, "Okay, let's get this straight. I am not scared of cucumbers. I just don't like cucumbers, okay?" And then somebody said, what would happen if they brought in a cucumber right now at that moment? He said, "I'll probably leave the room, but I'm not going to run. But I mean, if they're whole, that's one thing. But if they're cut up, then..." And he didn't finish his thought. So,
I mean,
sounds like a man who's scared of cucumbers.
Really does.
wow. What a
that
wonderful fear.
Is this week's Undertaker fact.
You want to hear an interesting
Undertaker fact.
Thank you, Adam. That was enlightening. So please send your cucumbers to the Undertaker. Match 13 versus Yokozuna at the Royal Rumble 1994 in a casket match. And this was taking place at the Providence Centre in Providence, Rhode Island.
Our second casket match.
Indeed. Although
What
is this
was
the
our
first time they're
first?
calling it? The Kamala one.
Kamala, yeah.
The thing I love about this is that with the Kamala one, we had all the promos before of them making the casket. And then we got a lot. Did you guys? Because on the network, if you click for the match, it just goes to the match. But if you go before, there's this string of promos. They're all like edited
Loads,
together in
yeah.
a really strange way.
Yeah, this was the return of Undertaker's lesser-known blacksmithing or carpentry background that he never gets to really demonstrate that often.
Bit of both. I think you need a bit of both to make a decent casket.
Very talented carpenter.
Big casket
Yeah.
as well.
And you need
Yeah.
to do a little bit of
Upholstery?
upholstery. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the word I wanted.
I would go as far as to say is that The Undertaker is the second most famous magical carpenter.
I always assumed Taker put the box together, but Paul Bearer did the upholstery.
Are you talking about Geppetto?
Jesus, Adam. I was going to say Jesus. Jesus is the most famous magical carpenter, but then
Hey,
The Undertaker's a
don't
close
disrespect
second.
Geppetto.
I don't know if Jesus was a carpenter like his dad was, right? I don't know if Jesus ever
No,
picked
Jesus was a carpenter.
up the plane and started doing stuff
Guys,
with it.
let me get to Wikipedia and check.
Okay, whilst Adam Googles
What does it say
Jesus,
for Jesus under occupation?
Yeah, on the sidebar. Is there an occupation there?
Whilst Adam
aliases?
looks up Jesus's occupation.
I want to know Jesus' build, height, and weight as well. Let's see if we get that.
Jesus' neighbours in Nazareth refer to him as the carpenter, the son
okay.
of Mary and the brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon. The carpenter's son is also a name that they give him. So what's the truth here? Maybe it ran in the family. Anyway, let's move away from Jesus.
Cool.
Back to somebody who's more important.
Following the double disqualification for Taker and Yoko at Survivor Series, it was only fitting they would renew hostilities soon enough at the Royal Rumble, and it was decided they would face off for the heavyweight title in a casket match.
Yeah, I enjoyed finding out how this came about, and I mean, you're probably going to talk about all the promos that I referenced, but did anyone else find that weird? The way that they presented it, it was really weirdly edited. I thought Yokozuna was already in the ring, and they were showing some videos of the Undertaker, but it turned out they were just clips from Superstars or whatever, in the run up to the event, right? Loads of different promos.
Yeah.
I think the Undertaker said you're going to rest in peace about 5 different times in 5 different locations. I mean, we've got a couple of clips of some of the great stuff that Undertaker did, including saying Merry Christmas, ho ho ho.
Yeah, ho 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 was weird.
Merry Christmas, Yokozuna. Ho. Ho.
And then there's the bit where Paul Bearer is talking about Yokozuna taking a ride or getting in a vehicle or something, a 1994 vehicle, and then they shut the casket and Paul Bearer's voice goes quieter. Why am I explaining it? Here's the clip of that.
Let's take a look on the inside. But it will be a ride that you'll never forget. And when my Undertaker slams the door on your new 1994 vehicle and you ride into the darkness, why, you won't hear any exterior noise at all. The only thing you will hear, Yokozuna, is the hounds of hell baying for your soul.
And then there's just loads of more weird clips and promos. I quite enjoyed it, but it's like a highlights reel.
Some of these clips were really interesting. They were a bit all over the place. They're very much trying to invoke the Undertaker versus Kamala kind of setup that they had. But some of it, you have Paul Bearer at one point in not a hearse, but like a horse-drawn carriage with a giant coffin. And as it pulls away, it just reveals the Undertaker's been stood there the entire time. Who then just tells us again he's going to make Yoko rest in peace. I think that was the 5th time he says it. Just
so good.
Some wonderful clips there.
I love the line, I don't make mistakes, I bury them.
Yeah. That's
I'm going to remember that one.
Funny, that's Triple H's philosophy.
Oh, I like that, Sam. That got me.
Thank you. But yeah, so they have the build-up. Yoko is proper terrified. Again, this is very much harking back to the Kamala setup. This is strange in itself because Yoko is the heavyweight champion at this point, the most dominant heel in the company.
The monster, right?
Yeah. They have him terrified of The Undertaker.
More good acting.
This match, lucky number 13, would prove to be one of the most interesting matches we have seen so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And it is the Casket Match. In this contest, pinfalls do not count. There is no disqualification, no countout, and no submission. The only way to win is to stuff your opponent in the casket and close the lid.
Where to begin with this match? Obviously, Taker and Yoko facing off each other in the ring, and they attempt to wrestle each other. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Yep, there's one of the worst choke slams I've ever seen, very early on, from Taker.
That was hilarious.
Now,
Yeah.
in Undertaker's defense, I would say that was probably more of Yoko's issue than the Undertaker's issue.
Yeah,
it's
it is very dependent on the person receiving the slam with a choke slam.
Yeah, of course, listeners, if you don't know, Brett has had wrestling training. He knows his stuff. And also, I mean, I must say, I've done a little bit of wrestling. I choke slammed Sam through a table at his flat once. And there's a video on YouTube if you want to see.
Yoko is massive.
Sam
He's
let
like
you
two
down,
Sams.
Adam.
So
Sam let me down. Yeah, at least 1.5 Sams, I'd say.
He's so big, Yoko.
His legs,
gross, right? So gross.
It's almost like, yeah, he's got like a third of his weight is in one leg, a third of his weight's in the other leg, and then the rest of it is all his other everything else. It's just really weird.
Yeah, it's an ugly little wrestling section here. I think the Undertaker actually does pretty good job. He hits the DDT, he hits the clotheslines.
That's an old school.
That's old school, yeah.
But the match itself, kind of, a lot of it is actually obviously the hardcore element of this match. No disqualification. Hopefully that won't come back and bite Undertaker later. But yeah, we get to see some good old-fashioned chair shots straight to the head.
Yeah, not an
a couple of different chairs. We had a couple of
plastic molded one, right? Like a proper secondary school classroom chair.
Yeah. Yoko assaults Undertaker.
Nice.
With the salt. Yeah, there was a little thing of salt. Is that actually salt? It was like a little wooden pot of salt. What's that for again? Why was that there?
Fuji does does it in the ring, doesn't he, before Yoko?
Yeah. Sumo wrestlers do it.
Yeah,
it's a sumo thing.
Because I don't know if you know this, Adam, but Yokozuna is Japanese.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. I forgot.
It's part of their tradition.
Yeah.
Just down a load of salt, snort some.
And so there's a fair amount of back and forth. A lot of hitting with chairs, a lot of salt throwing. Some people go in coffins, they get out of coffins. The match is going backwards and forwards.
Have we talked about how enormous this coffin is?
It was
I mean, it needed to be.
Deep, wasn't it? It was
we
so
are talking
deep.
about Yoko.
Well, I reckon I could stand in it and you could close the lid on me.
Yeah, you could have a little family in there.
Yeah.
It does look like they've taken a really shit rowboat and just put a lid on it.
You were just waxing lyrical about his carpentry skills literally 2 years ago.
You know what? It's better than anything I could make. Then let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this match. Crush of Hawaii and Foreign Fanatic fame runs into the ring.
I was confused by this. Yeah.
So
it's like, hold on a
Taker
minute.
is in the coffin, right? No, Yoko's in the coffin and Taker's about to close the lid on him and Crush comes running out.
Yeah, and I actually thought it was going to end then. I was like, is this going to be the match? And no. Crush comes out again. He's like, hold on, we had Crush in the last match. What's he doing here? Has he got beef with someone else? But it wasn't. It was just the beginning, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, so this is actually a rare, excellent piece of camera work from WWF where Undertaker is stood behind the coffin about to close the lid, and it's kind of like this is a done deal. And as kind of like you realise the lid doesn't close, you see the Undertaker stumble out and the camera pans past to reveal Crush, who starts beating up the Undertaker. And it looks like this has been a bit of a screw job. But, you know...
Doesn't end there, though, does it?
Just one person.
Okay, I'd like the listeners now, if you're not sure about this match, if you haven't seen this or you don't remember, you haven't read about it, just guess how many more people come out. Like, just say a little number. How many people do you think end up in the ring? Okay. You're about to find out.
The Great Kabuki, Genichiro Tenryu, Bam Bam Bigelow, Adam Bomb, Jeff Jarrett, the Head Shrinkers, and Diesel and both of his knees turn up. This is basically the entire mid-card heel division.
10 on 1 it was. There were 11 people in the ring.
Start Attitude Era beating the shit out of The Undertaker in one of the most weird, one-sided Streets of Rage-esque fights I think I've ever seen in all of WWF. They are all knocking lumps out of The Undertaker, who is then doing the... and we're going to insert whatever we call the sit-up here. But basically, the Undertaker's taking no damage whatsoever. He's just getting up,
Assisted by the urn, of course.
Yeah,
Paul
the
Bearer's walking around with the
plays
urn.
a big
That's the
part
important
in
thing.
this match,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
because he lost the urn to Mr. Fuji at one point, didn't he?
Of
He had
course,
to get
yeah.
it back.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
Paul Bearer sort of gets it back by doing he does the stunner kick. Did you see that? I thought for a second he was going to stun Mr. Fuji, but he just does this
wow.
really weak little kick and gets the urn.
Yeah, and then Cornette takes the funniest bump ever straight after that.
Probably broke his hip or something.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot going on here. Great Kabuki, by the way, inventor of the Asian Mist, allegedly.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah,
wonder what you were going to say there. I thought it was going to be something great, like inventor of the four-slice toaster.
the Asian Mist. I mean,
that
Asuka's
is
still
great,
using
but
that today.
I've heard of
it's not
Tenru, but I've never really heard of
esoteric
Kabuki. I mean, in the running order, I just put 2 times Japanese dudes turn up.
Yeah, I actually wrote down Tenro with a question mark. I was like, that's what it sounded like they said. I don't know who this is or who he actually is.
He's had a few appearances in Undertakings in recent times as like a bit part player, normally in Royal Rumbles. But
Anyway,
yeah, so all 11 men and Yoko are beating up the Undertaker, not really having a huge amount of success. It's kind of knock him down, he gets up again, never going to keep him down. Until the urn gets involved, and the urn is taken away from Paul Bearer by Yoko, who throws it into the corner and knocks the lid off it.
This bit was so cool.
And
impressive, hey?
It releases the most toxic fart that Taker must have put in there.
Loads of green smoke comes out.
Because it just flows and flows
Billowing out.
forever.
There was a lot of smoke coming out of this urn, more than I think I would have thought was possible under any circumstance.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was like, I don't know what they've done to produce this effect, but it looks great.
I thought RVD was going to come running down.
Just huff it all up. Buried in the top of the urn.
A lot of green smoke comes out of this urn, a lot of it. And it is the Undertaker's spirit.
Oh, is that what it was?
Because this
I
gets
think.
crazy at the end of this match, which obviously when we get there we'll talk about it. But yeah.
So without the urn, the Undertaker is truly powerless, which does bring into question the legitimacy of all of his previous wins if he's been using an urn to power himself up. But
powerless against 10 men.
Sure.
That's fair, right?
Yeah.
He's a good fighter, and he could fight anyone 1-on-1 or maybe even 2-on-1, but trying to take down 10 other men, even if they're total,
but
dweebs, he'd struggle.
This was quite funny though, because it was ridiculous because there were so many that they didn't really know what to do. Like when Diesel first entered the ring, he was like, "There's no room for me. I'm just going to stand over here."
Needs to take care of his old knees. That's the thing.
It was just so funny. Jeff Jarrett, come on.
Yeah,
we
I
haven't
can't
mentioned Jeff Jarrett was in there or his amazing headband.
Yeah, his whole outfit was bonkers, like the red. I don't remember him ever wearing
This
that
was
stuff.
close to a Jeff Jarrett debut. This was not too... Like, he was...
have been.
Yeah.
I know, like when Adam said 10 wrestlers, it was really 9 wrestlers and Jeff Jarrett, right?
I mean, I don't even think they announced the head shrinkers. Was it the head shrinkers?
Yeah.
They called them Sabu and Fatu when they came in.
When they did their finishes as well.
Yeah, just turning up.
Splashes.
And so everyone basically took a turn jumping off the top rope and hitting the Undertaker, apart from Jeff Jarrett, who absolutely misses the Undertaker in one of the funniest moments of the sequence. And then they load him into a coffin, and it's done.
Beautifully made.
He fights out the coffin
upholstered.
for a bit first, though, doesn't he? Because they put him in there, and his hands are on the edge, and they can't quite close it. And then he has a little moment where he stands up and he tries to chop them all while he stood in the coffin.
And I would love to say that's it. The Undertaker lost. We can all get on with our lives, but
then this happens.
Look at this. We have seen, I believe, the demise of the Undertaker. To say the very least. We won't be seeing him for quite some time.
Wait a minute, what's that?
I don't know, what is that?
Wait a minute, look at that. Something's happening inside the casket.
What?
There's some sort of green gook coming out of the casket.
That's the same stuff that was coming out of the urn. What in the world?
The lights are on. What's going on here?
The Undertaker is defeated and all is lost. And this is, it's gone mad at this point because... Can you guys tell me what your interpretation of what happens here?
Loads of green smoke comes out the bottom of the coffin, right?
Yeah, even more green smoke. Just like flows out and then it goes dark.
Yeah, and I assumed that Taker's going to rise out of the coffin.
Yeah.
And punch them all.
Standard, yeah.
That's what you expect to happen.
Yeah.
But instead, on the big screen, it cuts to a extremely obviously filmed before shot of the Undertaker lying in a coffin because it was completely different. The depth of the coffin was different, wasn't it? It was a much shallower coffin. He had more makeup on. He had a different shirt on. The button size was different. I spotted that.
The button size.
Button size was different, people.
Don't ask why I spotted
that.
The detail.
Taker's deaf conspiracy forums. Here we come.
Guys, it's important that the listeners really understand how obvious it was that this wasn't being shot from inside the coffin, which these days they could probably do because you could get a little GoPro or in there or a tiny little camera. And then Taker starts doing a promo, which we've got a clip of.
Be not proud. The spirit of the Undertaker lives within the soul of all mankind. The eternal flame of life that cannot be extinguished. The origin of which cannot be explained.
But we don't play the whole clip because it goes on for fucking ages, doesn't he? He just talks and talks and talks.
Undertaker goes off on one here about how his spirit is in every single man.
Person. Yeah. Is this him becoming the Deadman? Is he like dying at this point? Because he does like he rises up, and he's talking about spirit being in everyone. It's like, is he dead? That was my thought. He's like, they killed him.
Not unlike another famous carpenter with magical powers who ascends upwards.
Geppetto,
thank you. But do you know it's still a mystery to this day as to who was playing the levitating Undertaker?
You need to explain that because people don't know what this levitating Undertaker is.
So the Undertaker cuts a promo on the Titantron, and then from behind the video screen, a mysterious Undertaker-shaped figure literally levitates away, like Poochie in The Simpsons, going back to his home planet. He just kind of gets hoisted upwards and away.
Weird.
Yeah, he's going to heaven. I don't know why he would be going up there, but he's going to heaven.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's the Taker, like it's not someone else. That was obviously the Undertaker.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, some guy in a wig. It was all very dark and smoky.
It's to this day, it's a mystery as to who was playing that variant of the Undertaker, although it's widely believed that that was in fact Marty Jannetty, which would be the second most successful thing he would do in his career.
I can take his shots at Marty Jannetty.
Do you know what I liked
weird about it as well is that afterwards they just cut back to Paul Bearer just weirdly pointing at the coffin.
Yeah, putting the urn on.
Yeah.
Coffin, take us up there. Coffin here.
This would have blown my mind if I had seen this as a child.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I liked? One note, like for anybody who's listening to these in the future and in order or something like that, the last podcast we did, as we said, was the Undertaker's farewell at Survivor Series 2020. And in that farewell, he says, "I must finally rest in peace." And then you also have the bit with like the electricity. And it really links heavily to this because during that section, the last part of his promo, he says, I will not rest in peace. And then you get the electricity and you get the sounds. And it was like, oh my God, this really links to
long-term 30-year booking from
it's paid off, but it's paid off for me in reverse.
I will not rest in peace.
It would have been great at Survivor Series if at the end he just shoots off underneath the Tron, just at the top of it.
This has got to be one of the most wild things I have ever watched on a WWF television.
It made me very aware that we are headed into the Attitude Era.
This, very much was clearly an experiment for the Attitude Era, a successful one in my opinion.
Do you know what really disappointed me though? Was when the coffin was there and the smoke was coming out, all the wrestlers pushing it, they didn't really sell it that great. They were sort of like, what's going on? Huh? These days you'd have someone like Jericho or Sami Zayn selling the shit out of it. Falling on their butt backwards going, what the...
Possibly say that I probably, knowing WWF's safety record at this point, would not want to be anywhere near that smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But
I was just disappointed. I was like, this is so over the top. Wrestlers, just go with it. Go with it. Don't be confused.
Adam, did you have any idea what was coming? Because you're coming to this from a lot more of a kind of less research on the Undertaker's previous history than...
How fucking dare you?
Calling you out.
I know the Undertaker comes from parts unknown. I know my shit. No, you're right. I haven't watched any of this really, apart from the stuff we've done in rewinds beforehand, and even all of the stuff about the Taker going around at the moment, interviews and highlight stuff. I'm not watching any of it because I want to kind of experience it in real time, even though it's not real time. But yeah, I thought this was really great fun. John messaged yesterday to say, guys, I think we might need to really make some bullet points for this because a lot happens. And he was fucking right. With all those promos before the match even started, and then all the chaos in the match, 11 people in the ring, and then all this stuff afterwards, it was chaos and it was great. If it happened now, this kind of thing, I'm pretty sure I'd say it was one of the worst things I'd ever seen. But in context, with the nostalgia, I really, really enjoyed it.
I feel like this is the kind of thing where you do not want to over-egg the pudding. This kind of madness works once, maybe every few years. And I think they had something similar with The Fiend, to be honest. And I think they overdid it with him.
Yeah, I think also maybe when you're perhaps about to watch Taker versus Yoko, your expectations on... a fast-paced, big sort of technical match
Yoko.
are not there. So when it starts going batshit crazy, you're like, yes, this is saving me from perhaps something very dire.
Even before the craziness, I really enjoyed this match, just Taker and Yoko. I thought the bit with just them was solid, really good.
Yeah, but Yoko definitely looked done after that little bit. Later, he took a while to...
And so I think we kind of reached the rating segment of this.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Adam, what do you think?
I'm going to give the Taker 3.5. I thought it was good, above average, what he had to do, and he looked great. A lot of it was trying to just fight off hordes of men. But for the match, I'm going to give it a 4. And I will tell you that I went onto Grapple, the rating app, and I was like, oh, this will be interesting. I'm going to go and submit my rating. Let's go and see what the average was. I think the average score for it is 1.5.
God, that is bonkersly low.
What a bunch of
lot of the Grapple voters,
sods.
Yeah, they're notoriously down on a lot of WWE stuff. But, this is classic WWE, so... there were only about 30 ratings anyway, so my 4 brought the average right up. But yeah, I'll give it a 4. Just the whole package, all of it that we experienced, from the promos to the ending, just loads of fun. But I know we're going to get better, a lot better.
Brett, what do you think?
So I'm going 3 for the Taker. Solid performance. I love, I love all this sort of era Taker gimmicks with the urn, lifting him up, giving him the power, the sitting up in those moments. I was all for that. So, so he gets a solid 3. The match, I'm gonna go 4 because do you know what? If you're gonna go a bit odd, don't just chuck a couple of guys in the ring. Chuck 10 guys in the ring. Like if you're gonna go there, just fucking go there. Lean into it big time. So, and they did. And the dramatic ending. I mean, come on, this was entertainment.
John,
I'm going 4 across the board. I love this. I thought it was great.
Wow.
Do you reckon this is the end of the urn?
Maybe. I'm sure we're going to see the urn in bits and pieces over the next few years in Undertaker's career.
Bits and pieces? Is that a spoiler?
Yeah.
But I'm just going to add my rating. I'm going to...
Oh, yes. What do you think, Sam?
Right, so the match itself, 4. This is early Attitude Era crazy. The Undertaker, I was hesitant to do this, but I'm going to say, do you know what? For me, this is the end of like an opening act of the Undertaker's career.
Definitely.
And it's perhaps one of the most crazy things I've seen. And to think this happened 27 years ago blows my mind. So I'm giving the big man a 5.
Whoa!
I genuinely love this. I think it's
Sam with
mad.
the first 5 of the series.
Adam's like...
Adam looks so angry.
He's ready to tell Sam off. He's like... There's a side conversation, the chat just about to come up on WhatsApp, and it's like, you are out of order.
No, I just think if we think about what we've got to come.
I know, but there can be multiple 5s.
Are you saying there's no better than this?
No, I'm saying that
there's
this
equal
is
to, but there's nothing better.
Equal to this. I don't know if
you know your stuff.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
There's very few matches where you're going to see a man on TV screen and then that same person. Sorry, just motorbike drove past really loudly.
The last ride. He's back again.
There's very few matches where you're going to see a man on a TV screen say he's the spirit of all humanity and then levitate upwards into heaven whilst at the same time being in a coffin. It's madness. And yeah, I'm all for it. So
okay,
he's earned that 5.
Nice.
Yokozuna and the entire heel division of WWF have successfully fended off The Undertaker, and it marks the end of the first act of The Undertaker's career. He would go on to take a few months off to heal from injuries. The Undertaker and kayfabe ascending to parts unknown, I guess. Either way, this would be the last we would see of the Deadman for 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Until a certain millionaire would recruit the services of the Deadman. At least I think it was the Deadman. But that's a story for the next Undertaking.
That was more Who Wants to Be a Millionaire than EastEnders, but it kind of works. Amazing. It's cool. I'm really hyped, as always, to see what we've got coming up next.
It's going to be one of the most interesting episodes of The Undertaking I think we'll ever do.
Yes. But they will continue to get better after that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to reach Attitude Era very soon.
Nice. Well done, Sam. Once again, loads of research, loads of notes, and another great episode of The Undertaking. I'm sure you'll agree, Brett and John.
Yeah,
super.
Loved it.
Brilliant. Okay, let's have a little break. In fact, let's have a little jingle or a sting, because we're bringing back a little section that we haven't done for ages.
Question week.
All right, as it is The Undertaking, the hardest question of the week this week is, and actually I've realised this is quite a big question, maybe we should have saved this for further down the run, but we're going to do it. It's, what is your favourite version of Taker and why? And as you'd expect, we got quite the range of responses. MJ, first off, came back within about 30 seconds and said the one that didn't wear Blue Lives Matter shirts because bleh.
Yeah,
fair.
Said.
Oh, MJ. It is fair, but still. Alex Sugden said, where to, Stephanie? Sinister heel Undertaker was tons of fun. Adam Evans Pringle says, I really like the hybrid version. He wrestled AJ Styles with at Mania. Sorry, I'm going to say that again. I really like the hybrid version he wrestled AJ Styles with at Mania. Too Undertaker-y is a bit far-fetched, even for wrestling. That was just pretty cool and dark.
It's just the one match, surely.
Yeah, but I mean, that works for Adam.
Yeah, sorry, Adam, I shouldn't call you out on stuff like that.
That's okay.
I was talking to Adam Edenfringle, not you.
Us Adams are used to it. Chris Lappin, you're going to agree with this one, Sam, because Chris Lappin's favourite Taker version is Limp Bizkit Rolling Taker.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
American
badass.
We had lose weight. He said the 96 to 97 period, starting with his first match with Mankind and ending at Hell in a Cell with HBK. Still fairly close to OG classic Taker presentation, but with the thrill of seeing him first break out of his zombie no-cell style into something more dynamic.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
He then goes, I appreciate this response was a loose interpretation of the question, but if there's one pod that appreciates a tangent, it's Hardest Part Pod. John, what did you have for breakfast?
Oh, no, shreddies and bran flakes with
some consistency.
With some little bit of granola shoved in there as well, just for a bit of protein kick.
Wow, 3 different types. That's mad.
Mix it up, guys. Get all of them in there.
I didn't
ask you, Sam.
I had a bowl of Cocoa Pops for breakfast.
Oh, I do love Cocoa Pops. That's more of a Saturday thing, though. I think.
That's full on child. Oh God, we really have gone off on the tangent. Brett, I've got to ask you, what did you have?
I full on adult. I had bran flakes with banana and blueberries.
Oh, that's nice. Because the listeners really want to know, I had porridge with peanut butter.
Oh, very nice.
Which is something I've recently got into.
Love porridge.
Really savoury. Anyway, so back to the comments. Lose weight, talked about the tangent. We went off on one about breakfast. And then he came back and said, I mean, my honest answer is probably Biker Taker because I was 14 and bikes and new metal were the sickest thing. And I was also stupid. Nothing stupid about that.
No.
Lose weight.
Be proud of that.
We still will love.
I secretly have a soul patch that I only get out at special times.
Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
Old Mr. Beerface says grey gloved ginge. Yeah, I mean that's what we've been witnessing, and it's so great. I love the makeup. I love like the purple under the eyes. It's just brilliant. It's like as we've said before, it's like a Halloween costume. And then finally, Scroobius Pip got in touch, and he said his favourite version of the Taker is At Home with the Undertaker era. You'll have to get on Twitter because he's linked to what looks like a magazine article in People magazine, which is At Home with the Undertaker. It says the family man behind the WWE legend, and it's a photo of Taker in his kitchen. It looks like he's frying up some bacon. He's having a lovely laugh with Michelle McCool and his daughter. There's some milk there. Looks like he might be making some pancakes. Oh, there's a massive stack of pancakes on the left. I didn't see that. Pancakes, bacon. He's wearing shorts. He's wearing a sleeveless hoodie. He's got his do-rag on, of course. Is it a do-rag?
Bandana, surely.
It's a bandana. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it is. It's a really funny image. So go and have a look at that. And thank you to everybody for getting involved. I'm not going to ask you guys what your favourite is because we're doing a whole series about it, and maybe we'll answer that question at the end.
No love for Mean Mark Callis or Punisher Dice Morgan?
It's because it's not a Taker. It's not a version of The Undertaker, is it?
You got me. You got me
You're
good.
just showing off. You're just showing off with your knowledge. Next podcast is going to be straight away next week because we have NXT Takeover War Games.
Oh shit! I didn't know they were doing War Games this soon.
Yeah, we've got the Undisputed Era against this what they called. I can't remember this. This new heel faction with
is it Pete Dunne and
the tag team champs.
Is it not the Kings of Leon?
It is the Kings of something. Terrible. We're fatigued from this episode, but I mean, everybody who's listening knows what that matchup is. I'm looking forward to it though, because Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly the other night in their ladder match to find out who gets the advantage in the match, who gets to start War Games or whatever the advantage is. That was a great match. That was a lot of fun to see Pete Dunne in the wrestling ring again. He's so lean.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Don't like it.
I'm not sure, but I mean, big respect, the commitment it must take. Anyway, one final thing before I pass over to Brett and then we say goodbye. Pod Bible poll winners is something that is out there now, and you can go and vote for your favourite podcasts. If you go to podbiblemag.com, there's loads of different categories to vote, but the final category is an open category for independent or amateur podcasts, and I think you can all agree we're a bunch of amateurs, so if you want to vote for Hardest Part of the Ring, you can do that at podbiblemag.com. Brett, how do people send emails or do tweets and stuff?
Use technology.
Done. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah. They can.
I mean, we should just end it.
Of course, send their emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com, or they can catch us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We are at hardestpartpod.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks again to Sam for all of the organisation. We'll be back with another Undertaking, Volume 7, probably in, I don't know, a few weeks. Hopefully it won't be as long a wait as it has been. But until next week with our NXT review, it's goodbye from me, Adam, and goodbye from Sam.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from John.
Rest in peace.
And goodbye from Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.
On the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring.
Following the double disqualification of Taker and Yoko at Survivor Series, it was only fitting that
Survivor Series? I like the sound of that.
I was hoping I'd gotten away with that one.
No,
it was only fitting they would renew hostilities. Fuck me.
Hostilities. I love this.